The wait is over. That's right. The Bengals are in the process of finalizing deals with Ja'Marr Chase and Tee Higgins. Buckle up because the Bengals' big three of Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr, and Tee aren't going anywhere. It's time to break it all down right now on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into CBT. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Make sure you check us out on Apple, on Spotify, on Amazon. And why do you ring the bell? Well, you ring the bell for occasions like this, when we get news that has been exclusively reported on BengalsTalk.com and then right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. The Bengals finalizing contract extensions with Ja'Marr Chase and Tee Higgins. The deal is done. One source told me, familiar with the situation, and another one saying how it could have been finalized and done on Friday. And that's why you saw all of the national reports about how confident they were in it getting done, and the figures started to come out, numbers and all of those things. And I think NFL Network was the first to get that out. But the deals are in the process of being finalized now. It's going to get done. Ja'Marr Chase is going to get done. Tee Higgins is going to get done. And it's just huge news for the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's start with Ja'Marr Chase. On pace to be the best receiver in Bengals history. If you don't think that already, certainly the most accomplished through the first 4 years of his career of any Bengals wide receiver in team history. And is coming off of the Triple Crown year, where he leads the NFL in receptions with $127, 1,708 yards, receiving yards as well, and receiving touchdowns 17, led in all three categories. Just the fifth player since the merger to do so. And so obviously this was a high priority for the Bengals. This was high priority for Ja'Marr Chase to get a contract extension and cash in now. And he's going to become the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. His contract expected to be in the $41 million range. I don't have the final details of the contract structure or anything like that, but I would expect to see a 4 certainly on the Ja'Marr Chase contract. I expect it to be a 4-year contract extension as well. As far as Tee Higgins is concerned, man, this one, I remember getting laughed at by people that worked at the Bengals. Like, just the idea of them keeping both of these guys, 4 or 5 months ago. And by worked, I'm talking with security and stuff like that. It's just, no one really thought they would keep both. And I think, one, Joe Burrow looked around and said, hey, I better make sure that Tee Higgins stays. 2, Tee Higgins looked around and said, do I want to go through another year of uncertainty, or do I want to hang out in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase and chase a championship with the Bengals? And I think that's the other element here, is the fact that Tee Higgins switched agents, went from David Mulligetta to Rocky Arsenault. Rocky and his team at Alliance Sports did a good job of navigating these waters, of making sure that, yeah, Jamar's a priority for the Bengals, but he better be a priority as well. Tee Higgins' next contract, this contract extension, is going to be worth up to right around in that $30 million range. I think it might be a tad shy of $30 million per year, but it's getting done. And it's just a huge move for the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's a big move for both of these receivers. And it's important for Joe Burrow as well. Joe wanted these guys because, quite frankly, they need their studs. They need their stars. I was talking with a Bengals veteran, not this past camp, the camp before that. And he told me, they better keep these guys. And he looked, and I was like, oh, well, Joe, this is before Joe's contract was done. And he was like, well, yeah, of course, Joe. He was like, no, but Ja'Marr and Tee. And I was like, oh, you want to keep both of them? And of course, I was on that bandwagon. But the answer is yes, because those two, Ja'Marr and Tee together, strike fear in opposing defenses. The veteran that told me that was on the Bengals defense. And he had no benefit of telling me that. We were just talking ball a little bit and talking about the future and talking about things. And he's like, yeah, better keep that guy. And so very, very significant that Tee did what he needed to do to stay, and the Bengals did what they needed to do to keep him here in Cincinnati. It's huge news to get these done. Obviously, there's other stuff. We're going to talk about other stuff. It's been a long week. We've talked about all the other stuff. I'm going to make this video strictly about Tee, strictly about Ja'Marr. The deals are getting done. The Bengals, I think, deserve credit for it. I also think that these receivers do as well, because they could have drugged this out longer. It could have been a thing. It could have been one of these things where Jamar wants to wait out Micah Parsons, where Tee Higgins looks at the DK Metcalf deal and he looks around the league and he looks at what he coulda, woulda, shoulda made if he was a free agent and not tagged for a second time. And it could have gotten in the way, could have gotten ugly. And it really didn't. Now, you could talk about what the Bengals did or haven't done, did or didn't do this week when it comes to getting these other contracts done in free agency. But prioritizing your stars, I'm never going to get mad at them for that. The only thing they did wrong here is not get these deals done sooner. 2 years ago, when I was having that conversation with that veteran, they could have signed Tee Higgins then. Obviously, there were some agent issues, fine. But you got to be able to work with anyone. And so you can be critical of the Bengals there for not getting Tee Higgins done 2 years ago or last year. Same thing with Jamar not getting it done last year. But the bottom line is, did it get done? And the answer with these two is it's yes. It's finalized, or it's in the process of being finalized, excuse me. We're talking about real minor details here, ladies and gentlemen, that happen before any of these big contracts get agreed to fully. But both sides expect this to get done, are anticipating it's getting done. And like I said, basically, it is done. It's just, again, they're in the process of where you buy a car, where you go up to the loan person and they're offering you like a warranty that you don't necessarily want. Like, they're at that part where, yeah, you're buying the car. It's done. You just got to dot your I's, cross your T's, and get it finalized. So be on the lookout for contract details, but certainly if you want more details about this, I wrote them at bengalstalk.com. It's going to be the main story there for the rest of Saturday for sure, and huge news as far as the Bengals star wide receivers go. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell as always so you get notified even on a Saturday when you have plans and things are going on. Maybe you're drinking green beer right now. I know St. Patrick's Day is a few days away, people celebrating today. And make sure you check us out, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts as well. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching, and celebrate, Bengals fans. Jamar and T are here to stay. Thanks for watching and listening right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.